During the Irish War of Independence, the Royal Irish Constabulary were reinforced not only once, but twice. The Black and Tans arrived in Ireland in March 1920. A few months later, Winston Churchill, Secretary of State for War, also wanted an extra special emergency unit to help the police in Ireland. This force would consist of former British Army officers, and they were known as the Auxiliary Division of the Royal Irish Constabulary. These Auxies could be identified by their distinctive Glengarry hats. They also wore their pistols slung low around their waists in the fashion of a North American cowboy. The force reached as high as 2,100 men, and they were paid £1 a day, which was twice as much as a Black and Tan. This force arrived in Ireland in August 1920, and they immediately got a name for themselves. Tom Barry, who was previously himself a soldier of the British Army, said that these men were terrorists and looters, and that they had to be stopped. The first successful attack on the auxiliaries happened on the 28th of November 1920 in Kilmichael, County Cork. 36 men of the 3rd West Cork Brigade, led by Tom Barry, ambushed 18 auxiliaries. This particular ambush actually features in my favourite Irish movie of all time. It's called The Wind That Shakes the Barley, and we're going to have a look at the scene right now. It's important to remember that this is a movie and not a documentary, so it's not 100% factually correct. But we're going to watch the scene now, and then afterwards we'll go through all of the little imperfections. It's a Lewis gun right there, which the IRA wouldn't have had one of them on the day. This man on the right is supposed to be Tom Barry. Practicing their hand signals so they'll know when the Auxies are about to arrive. So here comes the Crossley tenders, 2 Crossley tenders full of auxiliaries, 18 in total. It's a scout indicating that they're here.
Auxies, lad! Auxies!
The Lee Enfield rifle there on the left. So this is Tom Barry.
Damien! Congo! Go down, check. Congo, cover Damien. Simba, back. Chin. Watch the position from here. Go like a right towards you over there.
So how accurate is the Kilmichael ambush scene in The Wind That Shakes the Barley in comparison to the actual events that really happened? Well, in all honesty, it's actually not that accurate at all, but I'm not complaining about it. This is my favourite movie of all time. It's actually a great scene in the movie, but if you're going to be really kind of nerdy about it or whatever, it's not really that accurate at all. One of the first things I noticed that was wrong was the IRA had a Lewis machine gun. They didn't have one of them on the day. They had 36 riflemen. Some of the men didn't even have rifles. Some of them just had revolvers, and they had 2 Mills bombs. That was it. There was no machine guns there. The second thing that got on my nerves a little bit is when Tom Barry kicks off the ambush. In the movie, he shoots his gun twice, then throws the bomb. Again, that didn't happen at all. They actually threw the bomb and then opened up fire. So they actually kind of mixed that up in the movie for some reason. I think out of all the inaccuracies in this scene, the biggest one has to be the fact that in the movie, the men are really far away from each other. This was a close quarter fight in real life. These men were using their butt ends of their rifles. They were using bayonets. They were fighting with their fists. In the movie, it doesn't show that whatsoever. They're actually really far away from the Aussies, and it's all just like long-range shooting. It wasn't like that at all in real life. From Tom Barry's accounts of the Kilmichael ambush, he literally said there was guns going off at point-blank range, and sometimes people were so close they just used the butts of their rifles instead. Another thing that isn't in the movie is the false surrender. So Tom Barry says during the Kilmichael ambush, after they eliminated all of the men in the first truck and they approached the second truck, a couple of the auxiliaries started shouting, "We surrender," right? As they did that, a couple of IRA men started to stand up, and the auxiliaries actually grabbed some revolvers from their hips and opened fire, killing 2 IRA men. Now in the movie, they don't show the false surrender whatsoever, which was an interesting choice. I suppose the last inaccuracy I can see in this scene is if you go to the very end of the ambush, it kind of gives off the impression that the IRA killed all of the auxiliaries. But factually, they actually didn't kill all of them. One guy got away. He was the driver of the second truck. His name was Cecil Guthrie. All in all though, I'm not complaining about inaccuracies in this movie. The Wind That Shakes the Barley is by miles my favorite movie of all time. I love it. I've seen it about 100 times at this stage, I'd say. But I suppose it is kind of interesting to break down scenes like this and actually see, are they factually correct or are they anyway accurate at all? So anyway, this was something new and something different to do for a change. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button below. Drop a comment below if there's any more scenes of The Wind That Shakes the Barley or Michael Collins that you want me to cover. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.